Hi, Arseniy. Let's see what you've got for us in this set, shall we? In some countries, people follow the latest fashion and hairstyles. In your opinion, what is influencing this? Do you think this is a positive or negative development? All right, so it's a two-question essay. Let's see what you wrote. The way how we look and what impression we make on others was always important for such a highly socially active beings as humans. In order to be more attractive, people usually try to wear more fashionable clothes or have their hair cut stylishly. In this essay, we'll give an overlook on some of the factors influencing this development and explain why this is a negative phenomenon. Okay. I like your thesis statement. You did a great job here. That was very good. That's exactly what you need to do. The first sentence was awkward. There was some awkward grammar here, so let's look at it. Not the way we look, but how we look. Okay? So it's what we look like or how we look. So let's fix that. Again, how we look and what impression we make on others has always been important for such a highly socially active being as humans are. Okay? For such a highly socially active being as humans are. Yeah, that would have been better. Okay? Then the rest is fine. Let's move on. No doubt there are many factors that would define some cultures' people's need to stay in style constantly. Although media may be, two words, may be one with an E of the most influential ones. Media always shows a beautiful picture of a lifestyle where film stars or any other famous and successful people act. This awakens a desire in people to become more alike with these people. More alike, more like these people. Get rid of the A, get rid of the with. In order to have the same level of success, fame, or wealth as they do, copying their fashion style seems to be the easiest measure that can be taken to achieve that which makes people follow the latest fashion updates. All right, that's a little awkward. I don't understand this sentence. It's grammatically a little awkward. Look, it's one right here. Okay, so that's a little strange. Copying their fashion seems like the easiest measure that can be taken to achieve what makes people follow the latest fashion. I don't understand that sentence, okay? Despite that, there is such thing a constant need. Maybe you mean something else. There is such a thing as a constant need for change, which may have developed really strong in some people. Strongly. This feeling became really frequent right now. No, has become really frequent right now because the ratio of live, if quite high, and many things are always changing. I don't know what happened with this sentence, Arseniy. This doesn't make sense, and there's a lot of, I don't know if it's typing errors, I don't know what happened, but I'm having a really hard time. You've lost me essentially in this sentence here. Okay. This makes us feel that having something, for example, the same clothes, the same hairstyle for a long time is abnormal. This leads to the reality when more and more people always follow the latest trends. This leads to the reality where more and more people always follow the latest trends in order not to miss anything. Okay, what I want to do is I just kind of want to work through this paragraph again to make sure I understand what you are saying is influencing our need to follow the latest fashion and hairstyles. Let me just go through it again. Okay, so what I understand here is this. So the media presents us with famous people, celebrities, and kind of in a subconscious way, we want to resemble these people, at least in any way we can. And so the easiest way is by copying their appearance. Okay? So that I understood. And then here I think you're saying is that people just naturally have a desire for change. So we want, we're sick of the same things over and over again. And so this desire to change is what compels us to change our fashions and to change our hair and so forth. So I think these were the two ideas that you were trying to express. However, I have to tell you the truth, as you can probably guess, I had a little trouble understanding some of your sentences. This time I don't know what happened, but some of the language was a little strange and difficult to understand, okay? Let's move on. Okay. This tendency to follow all the fashion and hairstyle updates has some serious negative outcomes for the society. Firstly, it takes time to get an up-to-date, get rid of an. Firstly, it takes time to get up-to-date information, and considering the fact that the updates in this field are frequent, people, in order to keep updated, may spend a ton. Now, ton, you can do two things. In American English, it's T-O-N. In British English, it's T-O-N-N-E. But what you wrote is a totally different word. You wrote tone, which is inappropriate here. So they may spend a ton of time surfing the internet or scrolling social media without the here. Certainly, it leads to the fact that less time is left, not rest, for other activities. For example, self-development or education, get rid of here. Secondly, the amount of the information people are obligated to process to follow the latest changes is huge. Thus, people may feel overfed, not feed, overfed with information, and people's brains would remain active all the time, which may lead to some mental health issues. Okay, fine. To sum up, the reasons for people to follow hairstyle, singular here, it's an adjective, and fashion updates are many. I don't know what's going on with your typing today. For example, people, what? Are many, for example, people, the influence of famous people through media or our inner need to change something. All right, this is awkward. I don't understand this. This whole thing from for example to the end of the sentence. However, this development has some negative outcomes. For example, a lack of free time or mental health issues caused by decreased brain resting time. Okay. This is now the second time you've mentioned this thing about mental health issues. I know you mentioned it here, but the thing is that you never really explored it. Like, why would my brain being active cause me a mental health issue? I think it's a very kind of loaded thing to say and you then not develop it anywhere. And not only did you not develop it, but then you again reiterated it in your conclusion, but it was an argument that you never actually wholly flushed out. You never really got into that. So I would have absolutely avoided this here in this paragraph. And you know what? You never mentioned money. Like, it costs some people a fortune to constantly have the latest hair, the latest styles, the latest whatever. So that to me is like a kind of really obvious argument. And it might have been easier for you to kind of flush out details about that, about, all of this stuff, rather than going down this road with the mental health issues, which you never actually explained. So it's good, but you can see that there were a number of areas in this particular essay where I said to you, I didn't understand what you were saying. This is incoherent. I don't understand. So there was a few spots of that. I really want you to be careful with that, okay? Let's see. You did get the structure right, everything in terms of structure. Your introductory paragraph was good. So all of that was good. But some of this in terms of the development needed a little more work, okay? Let's take a look now. Ooh, sales of automobiles. Okay. 5 different brands in the US. Daewoo is outperforming everybody. Let's see what you said. Okay. In the bar chart, we can see the distribution of automobiles in the US. All right, well, the sales of automobiles, okay? Not just automobiles, because that's like all the automobiles that exist in the US. The data is given for 5 car manufacturers for a 6-year period from 2013 to 2018. Overall, Daewoo had the most sales during this period and Ford had the least. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The number of Ford sales grew gradually. Now, why are you talking about Ford? All right, whatever. We'll see why you said we were talking about Ford. The number of Ford sales grew gradually from 50 to 60 in 2013. The number of Ford. Well, it's not in 2014. I think it's actually, hold on a minute. This is Ford, right? So from 50. When did it go to 60? I'm very confused here. From 50 to 60. I'm very confused. I don't understand what you're saying here. Anyway, let me see what you wrote. Later they started to grow again, but did not overcome, that's the wrong word, surpass 60 during the study period. Yes. Let me see here. Let me look at your data for a second. No, they didn't surpass 60. That's true. Okay. Toyota sales were around 80 during the first 3 years. Toyota, yes, they were. They were around 80, except for, well, not really. Not around here they weren't. Not in 2016 to 2018. Okay, but after losing a half of its sales volumes in 2016, get rid of they, it had similar figures to Daewoo until 2018. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I got that. Good. Okay. VW and Audi sales fluctuated slightly over the 6-year period, but generally speaking remained between 60 and 80. Let's say VW and Audi. Between 60 and 80, 60 and 80, 60 and 80. Yeah, except for here. Okay. Okay. Yes. Daewoo remained the top-selling car brand in the U.S. throughout the study period, with a little less than, I don't know what this F is here, 100 sales in 2013, yeah, and nearly 90 sales in 2018. Moreover, in 2016, Daewoo reached the highest figure in the chart of 125. Okay, I liked that. I thought you did a good job of this. I didn't understand any of this stuff in the beginning about Ford. It really confused me. I didn't see 50 to 60 and 20, because there is no change in 2013. Right here, it's around 50. And then in 2014, it's around 50. So I didn't understand that first sentence. And that's when I started to get a little nervous. I thought that you may be having some problem understanding the chart. Let's see. Yeah, so for Ford, I probably would have said something else. I probably would have said that Ford for the first 3 years was between 40 and 60, and then dropped to below 40 in 2016, but then gradually increased to about 55 at the end of the period. Done. Okay? So something like that. Some really simple, like not a lot of sentences here. Okay, but I thought you did a nice job, except for that little snafu there. I like the way you organized this. I thought it was pretty good. This just kind of, was a little strange. I'll tell you what else is a little strange. I didn't really mind it, to be honest with you. But it might have made more sense to start with Daewoo, actually. It's kind of logical to start with the highest and then go to the lowest ones. I understand why you did it, because you did it in order. You thought Ford, Toyota, etc., etc. But it might have made more sense. It might have made more sense to talk about Daewoo. And let me tell you why. Because the last sentence in your essay was that Daewoo reached the highest figure in the chart. That was the last sentence. So I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that you run out of time. Okay? Let's just imagine for a second that you do task 2 first. And then you do task 1, which is, by the way, what I always recommend to my students. So let's say you do that. And let's say, heaven forbid, that you run out of time. If you leave this information and you don't have time to write it, then you've left out of your chart the highest figure in the chart. Okay, and that's something you don't want to do. Remember that writing task 1 is really like a top-down effect. So you're going to talk about the most important things first, the things that are the most salient, and the things that are really most important. And the most important is really those highs. So I would have reorganized this for the reasons that I just said. I would have talked about Daewoo first, and I probably would have gone like down the row. But that's pretty much it for the reason that I said. I mean, you don't want to miss out on those highs here. Okay, the highest figure in the chart. Alrighty, so Arseniy, go ahead, correct these, and let me know if you have any questions about the feedback in this set. Let's see more work from you, so good luck.